What's going on, guys? King Raven here, coming at you with another video today. Today I've got another, I want to say, knife review. You could consider it a review. It's more of a knife overview, okay? You'll see what I mean in a minute. But before we flip this camera around, let's do a quick wrist check. I'm wearing the Richard LeGrand, or now they're known as RLG watches, Odyssey Mark II. This is a beautiful watch. This is when they still printed Richard LeGrand on the actual dial instead of the RLG. This is the Mark II. I think they're on the Mark IV right now. This is a beautiful blue dial watch. Excellent. Love the bracelet. Richard LeGrand. The Richard LeGrand Odysseys are outstanding watches. I don't think they get enough credit for what they are. They are just really fit and finish, top notch. I love my Richard LeGrand Odyssey Mark II. So, let's flip this camera around and check out this overview of one of my favorite knives. Okay, guys, so we are looking at my Grimsmo Norseman. I love the Norseman. Love it or hate it, it is an outstanding knife, so we're going to go over my Grimsmo Norseman in detail. I am on the love it, of course, because it is in my collection. This is actually my personal knife, okay? Let me do some measurements and then some size comparison, and we'll get into what I think about the Norseman. So, on the Norseman, if we line it up, we are looking at about an 8.5 inch knife, okay? Cutting, well, the whole blade is a little bit over 3.5 inches, okay? 3.5 is going to run it right to about here. So if you go all the way to the titanium, it's a little bit past 3.5. Cutting edge, because of this little troll right here, you're looking at a little more than 3.25. So it's right in between 3.25 and 3.5 inches. Alright. Some size comparison. Well, hold on. Before we do some size comparison, let's do a weight and then thickness, okay? Weight on this bad boy right here is 4.8 ounces. And that is solid titanium on both sides, with this long piece of steel for the blade. Of course, it's steel, everything. But thickness. This is one place where it shines. 0.38 of an inch thick. It is a thin knife. Blade stock thickness, we're only looking at 0.1 inch, okay, 0.10 inch. Depending on where you grab it, yeah, that's 0.1 all day long, okay. Some size comparisons for the Grimsmo Norseman. Line this bad boy up right here with this line, the number 10 line. Let's do size comparison against a pair of 3, also lined up on the number 10 line, and the PM2. Alright, so as you can see, this is a much larger knife than the pair of 3. It still got the PM2 by probably about 1/2 inch. Okay, let's do some other comparisons. Alright, this is the Off Grid Knives Scorpion. Alright, an outstanding titanium frame lock, just like the Norseman. Scorpion is just a hair longer. Not much longer at all. Okay? We make sure these things are right on. And then also, let's compare it to the Spyderco Gale Bradley 2. So if we're looking at these, Gale Bradley 2 is just a hair under. Then you've got the Norseman, then you've got the Scorpion, which is just a hair over. Alright, so these are all in that very similar category. These are going to give you very similar feeling as far as length in hand. Alright, and as blade as well. So if you're looking at if you're looking at the Norseman, these are in that same handle length and blade length category. Let's do another quick comparison, and that's to the Hinder Fire Attack. We line the Fire Attack up on the number 10. We can see that the Norseman is, again, a hair longer than the Fire Attack, but not by much. It's longer in the handle. Fire Attack's got a really nice long blade. If we go cutting edge to cutting edge on the Fire Attack and the Norseman, we're seeing very similar. That's why I said these are very similar. Handle length's going to be a little bit different, but if you put cutting edge up to cutting edge, so if I line this cutting edge along with this blue line, and line this cutting edge with this blue line, you're seeing very similar cutting edges. So the Hinder Fire Attack and the Grimsmo Norseman are going to give you a very similar cutting edge feeling. The Norseman's just going to give you a little bit more in the handle. Alright? Now, the Fire Attack has a nice point that drops down and then recurves up in the blade. The Norseman has a more dramatic point where this is more of a swoop. This comes more like a tanto, alright, but it's more rounded than a tanto, and then has a little bit more of a curve in the recurve, but not by tremendous amounts. These are both very excellent recurve blades. The only difference is this is more of a traditional recurve with a drop point, where this is a more unconventional recurve that's got more of a curvy tanto point. So it's combining some of the features of a tanto with the features of a recurve. And that's how the Grimsmo Norseman gets its unique shape. Alright, so that was our measurements and size comparisons. Let's talk about this knife. This knife is, like I said, in my personal collection. This is one of my grail knives. Still is one of my grail knives. This took me 3 years to obtain. Alright. I wanted a Norseman for a long time, but I also not only wanted a Norseman, but I wanted a Norseman in a certain configuration. This is a crosshatch titanium, alright? So if I bring it up, you can see the crosshatching on this titanium. Alright, it's got a nice crosshatch pattern. Let's see if I can zoom in just a little bit more. You see this? That is the crosshatch on that titanium. I love it. Silver crosshatch, and the crosshatching is on both sides. Alright? Purple hardware. So purple on the hardware for the body, purple on the thumb stud. course, purple on the back of the thumb stud screw. Pivot silver with its engraved Norseman or Grimsmo logo. It's not the Norseman logo, it's the Grimsmo logo. And then the Grimsmo logo is also engraved in on the pocket clip. No pocket clip screws visible. It is on the inside. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can see that. Okay. The screw for the pocket clip is on the inside. It is not reversible. Sorry, lefties. It is only right hand only. Okay. Frame lock. Now, this, before we zoom out, let me open this up. This is using, alright, get it in the camera. Come on, focus, camera, focus. There we go. RWL 34 steel. This is number 2817 of the Norseman. So this is an earlier model. It's not one of the earliest, but it is an earlier model of the Norseman. Okay. Look at the stepped milling of this blade. You can literally feel each one of these very slightly. It's a very slight, just, it is outstanding. Those steps, you can see, not only can you see that light catches it just right. You can see all that, but you can very slightly feel it. It is a beautifully milled blade with a very sharp mirror polish on this blade. Okay, love this knife. Let's zoom out a little bit and we'll get back to sort of seeing out how we normally would. Okay, I'm gonna leave it open. Okay, let me show you how this sort of comes. It comes in a case like this, alright? And inside the Grimsmo Norseman, proudly made in Canada. This is from our brothers in the north, the Grimsmo brothers. Okay? It comes, right here is normally a little syringe of nano oil. The nano oil has been used up, okay? Nano oil is gone. The knife fits in this foam. Close it up. The foam is milled out for the pocket clip and everything, but you get a relief here so you can easily access it, but in the foam it rests. So this is a tremendous way to store your Norseman. And yes, I have a knife case. No, my Norseman does not go in my knife case. My Norseman stays in this case. It fits it and protects it the best. Yes, this knife is babied because it is one of my girls. Is it very capable? Absolutely, but it is babied. You do get a nice Torx screw Torx wrench for the screws. These are T9, okay? So the body screws are T9. The pivot itself is T9. Everything is T9, and you get the actual wrench to be able to take it apart. Alright? Now, underneath in this case, I have another purple thumb stud, okay, in this. But then this is its information card. So, of course, the Grimsmo knives. And then this is the information card, just like you would get on several other brands. A lot of brands do it. This is the Norseman. Its serial number is 2817. It's using the RWL34. It is stone-washed, cross-hatched titanium. It's 6AL4V titanium. The finish on the titanium is silver. The hardware is purple. It is signed off by John and Eric Grimsmo, and its date of completion is September 25th, 2019. So I'm filming this in January of 2022, okay? So this has got a couple of years on it and everything. 2020 September, 2021, it was 2 years old. So it's not quite 2.5 years old, and it's still a outstanding knife. It, like I said, it's one of their earlier models, but it's still absolutely nothing wrong with it. I've had it for a little while, and I have taken care of it. I did buy it used. I am not the first owner. I'm actually the second owner. Okay? Did not buy it brand new. But I'm the second owner of this knife, and I have maintained it, and the first owner maintained it as well. This, for me, I've already said, is one of my all-time grail knives, and it is a safe queen. I will cut paper with it. I don't cut much more than that with it, okay? It is used for fondling. I love the flipping action on it. I love how fidgety it is. It just drops shut. Did you see how smooth that is? You just engage the flipper tab. Boom. It fires out. Okay. Get it? And then it's just going to. The action on the Norseman is outstanding. So, you now see my Norseman. You see what I think about it. I love it. I know a lot of people say it looks like a spoon. Okay? I've never personally seen a spoon that's shaped like this. Okay? Most of my spoons are rounded on this side and rounded on this side. But, you know, if you want to say it's a spoon, go ahead with it. Do you have a Norseman? Okay. I have a Norseman. It's not, I don't consider it a spoon, but if you want to, more power to you. Alright? I consider it a take on a recurve tanto. So a very curvy tanto. Because you've got that same functionality is where you could do some scraping with this point. It's just more curved instead of straight. And then, of course, you've got the tip down here to where you can come into boxes just like a tanto would. But then you've got this beautiful recurve. So if you're drawing material, it's just going to draw up into this cutting edge. Jimping right here, right where it needs to be on this thumb ramp. You've got a beautiful flipper tab. Everything's rounded. The crown is rounded, okay? It's a rounded crown. Everything is contoured. The handles are contoured. You can easily tell that. It's not a deep tip pocket clip, but it's deep enough. Your material is coming to there. If you're complaining that that's too shallow, I don't know what to tell you, okay? That is an outstanding. I love my Grimsmo Norseman. It is and will continue to be one of my grail knives. It is part of my permanent collection, and it's not going anywhere. This took me a long time to acquire. I've got it. It's mine. I'm going to maintain it. I'm going to continue to keep it and enjoy it for many years to come. Let's flip this camera around and wrap up this video of my Grimsmo Norseman. Okay guys, so what did you think about my Grimsmo Norseman? It is a model of knife that most people, it's either love or most people hate. It's got a lot of haters, but then it's got a lot of people who love it. You don't have too many that you hear, I guess because they're not as vocal, of say, I don't love it, but I don't hate it and everything. I'm indifferent about it. Most people are on either side. Now, if you talk about Grimsmo as a company, you have a lot more people who love Grimsmo knives than they hate Grimsmo knives. They recognize that Grimsmo knives are very outstanding knives, and they love models like the Rask, okay? But they'll love the Rask and hate the Norseman just because of its shape. Okay, I don't get it. I guess I'm biased towards the Norseman because it is my favorite of the Grimsmo. The Rask is awesome. I've never wanted one because I can get that same similar blade shape from 50 other different companies. I can't get the Norseman but from the Norseman, okay? It is unique, and that's what drew me to the knife, okay? I love the lines of it. I love the fit and finish. So, for me, it's, as far as a Grimsmo knife, I'm choosing the Norseman all day long. That's my personal preference. Everybody can have their own opinion about it and everything. So I know I'm going to get a lot of spoon flack and everything. Okay, that's cool with me. I'll keep my spoon. I love my spoon. I would love to hear your thoughts. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Are you one of the ones who are indifferent? Okay, and we don't hear your voice as much as we hear the lovers or the haters. I'd love to know your thoughts. Alright. Follow me on Instagram at Shield Arms. Y'all be safe out there. I'm King Raven, and I'll catch you in the next video.